Guys, welcome back. So I got something new to talk about. Something that I've kind of overcome this week is I'm pretty sure we all have this. We have our little angel and we got our little devil sitting on our shoulder talking to us, right? How do we know when it's appropriate to listen to our devil? And when should we allow our angel to speak over, I should say, our little devil guy? So what I'm talking about is like kind of that voice that's inside your head too as well. That's usually what goes on for people. But for me, it's like I literally feel like I have a little angel, a little devil kind of conflicting every now and then when I'm kind of going through a situation or even just a thought. And thoughts are very powerful. Reason being is because that's what we can make or break of ourselves. I'm going to give you a few examples and then see if any of these kind of relate to you. So for the past week, I've been really down about myself. I'm doing a little better today. That's why I want to do this video now. I feel like it's been a few days since I've done my last one, and it's been really rough for me. To kind of give you a side of where I've been going through this past week is like, not only am I just going down with my depression in general, I'm struggling through finding a place to live. I'm still living out of a motel right now, which is a little different. I kind of like it here better than the last place. What else am I going through? The felony charge was served with back in November, and that's conflicting not only with just finding a place to live, but jobs, going back to Colorado State University if I'm allowed to. I have all these like unsure issues, and I don't like that because I'm trying to take control back of my life, right? And what little control I have is just keeping those positive thoughts, doing these videos, because this is what really makes me feel better about myself when I can share what I'm actually going through, because we all are going through probably a shitstorm right now with after COVID and then just your general life issues that you go through every day. So I've been feeling really down about myself, and this has been a long time since I've felt these deep, dark feelings and thoughts. It didn't get to suicidal, but I started contemplating because I'm so used to feeling that bad energy of feeling down and bad about not just myself, but things in general from my past, that it's like I still feel that pull, like because it's so, I hate to use the word comfortable, but it kind of is. I'm so brought up to the point that I know what misery and I don't want to use the word torture, but just abuse and all those kind of things feel like, that it's comfortable even though it still sucks and I'm miserable and blah, blah, blah. I'm comfortable with it because I understand it, whereas trying to find the good, and I'm finding more of the good, don't get me wrong. I feel more alive from it, but it's so hard to push just myself. So I've been reaching out to a lot of people. All right, my angel and my devil. So because I was feeling really down in the dumps, that's my devil just saying, you know what? I'm like, you're doing so much. Why bother? I'm like, it's like, no matter what you do, even if you're good, bad still happens to you. And that's why I think my devil has been kind of chit-chatting in my ear or just kind of pulling me to more of that negative side, which it's been more easier to feel that way. So I've been sleeping in my bed more. I've been eating like an asshole. My nutrition's just down in the dumps. I've been trying a little bit harder. So this is where my little angel pops in and says, "Stop it, Beth. I've gained so much weight. I'm ashamed of myself, but I shouldn't feel shame because I know I'm going through so much. But then I have that conflict of who I know I am, and what I'm always trying to preach to people is no matter how shitty your life is or how bad it feels in that moment, do the right thing no matter what, because you'll feel better in the end." And yes, that's true. So I've been doing something as simple as my nutrition. My little angel's been saying, hey, no more like sweets and junk food and stuff, because it's so easy and accessible because of living in a motel. You can't cook for yourself. I have a itty bitty microwave and eating these horrible TV dinners. My poor digestive system is taking a toll. So what do I need to do? Or you need to take accountability for you, because that's all we can do, right? We cannot control other people. So if you got these angel and this devil kind of conflicting what we should and we shouldn't do, and you're just kind of like, oh my God, my head's about to explode because I don't know whether to do the right or the bad thing, because sometimes doing the wrong thing might be the right thing. And I'll give you some examples on that here in a second. But going to my TV dinners, it has been so horrible, my digestive system. I'm just like, I don't even want to tell you what's going on in that in that region of my butt. Um, but I've been picking a little bit better foods because I know I need my fibers. So fruits and vegetables. Just because I can't cook doesn't mean I still can't eat those. And they're a little bit cheaper than buying your junk food. So be mindful of your money too, which is I'll go over that too. So I picked up some avocados for my healthier fats, but also I'm getting a little bit more of the probably the fibers and stuff through that. The healthier stuff my digestive system needs. I picked up apples, bananas. I get these salad kits because I don't have a whole lot of room in this refrigerator, so it's not like I could buy a whole bunch of different things for a salad. So I have to buy these kits that are already pre-made. That way, one, I'm getting my greens. Some of them have vegetables, but I'm being careful of also the dressings that come with it. One's like an avocado dressing or vinaigrette or something like that. Then I have another one. It's the sesame seed vinaigrette. And these are the, what do you want to call them? Not just salad kits, but the, oh my gosh, come on, Dad. Coleslaw. So it's kind of like the cabbage and stuff like that. It's really good. Another thing I picked up are some nuts because you can get protein from that as well. It's a good source, and you can get some of the oils from whatever you get. I get pumpkin seeds. I love because I'm a muncher because I'm bored, but I'm trying to find things that will not affect me. So the pumpkin seeds, I did pistachio, but I was starting to feel a little in my tummy. So I was like, I had to back off. Those I feel are a little too oily when they start to break down, and it really did not feel too great after all that. Plus, I ate too many. That's one thing. I've been picking up milk because of the calcium. I try not to do too many supplements. I try to get it through actual foods or through the foods we eat or drink. So I've been picking up picking up milk as a source of just calcium in general. I get the small liters, I think is what they are, these smaller jugs. I picked up Nestle's Quick chocolate milk. I do sometimes. It does have a few vitamins and minerals, but it also fixes my chocolate craving because I am so sad all the time. So that's my little angel telling me, Beth, we gotta make better care of ourselves by what little we can do for ourselves when it comes to when I pick up stuff through Walmart. I do my grocery shopping through there because they deliver to me here. When is it good for if you're in a bad situation, when do you know when it's okay to make a difference or stay in that setting? So, because I've been telling you guys about my apartment situation, me getting kicked out of that last apartment is what I mean. My little devil guy wanted to do so many horrible things to not just the neighbors that were causing me problems, but also the people that were running this business. I had to dig really deep down because not recently, but in my past, I'm quick to react than to think what I'm doing. Yes, it's so easy to just act, and we want to cause harm to either an individual or something that is inflicting pain back onto us, right? That's just natural instincts as people. But we are better than most animals. That's where we have, I don't know, I guess a word for it, but we have that mental capacity to overcome those predatorial instincts like fight, like hurt people pretty bad. But as people, we can be better. That's why I try to think, my little devil. I'm actually teaching that guy, which is kind of like, I call him my alter ego, or I call him my dark passenger a lot. You'll hear me call it. It's pretty bad. I kind of make jokes with myself about, wow, I could probably be like a person with personality disorder, and like people that actually have that, they don't realize they have another personality because of some type of mental issue. Whereas I was diagnosed many years ago. I don't have this much anymore because I've worked so hard on it, but it's borderline personality disorder. So I make little jokes with myself because I'm very outgoing with my personality. It changes depending on the situation or the person I'm with. Like with friends, I am so bubbly. I'm all over the wall. Not all over the wall. I shouldn't say that. I'm just more outgoing and more peppy, and I'm just more engaged with wanting to do more positive things with the people I'm surrounded with, because I love that energy type. So it makes it come out of me a little bit more. Whereas sometimes it could be inappropriate. Uh, I found that that didn't work out so well with people that are not familiar with whether who I am in general or as a military personnel. When I served in the Marines, I could have a pretty dark sense of humor. People think I'm evil, I'm crazy, I'm mean, I'm whatever they're calling me. I'm really not that person. The purpose for my dark sense of humor, which is my little devil, I keep him under control. I'm doing better, but he likes to come out and play. So when I have my dark sense of humor and just talking, like, example, I got in trouble in court about this. I thought it was stupid. So I made a comment on Facebook about how I have road rage over grocery shoppers. I thought that was funny as heck, because I'm like, oh my God, that is totally me. I get tired of people, and a lot of people thought it was funny. I got in trouble in court over that, um, because I had a driving issue and I assaulted a girl, right? And they took that as, oh, she thinks that this is a joke. I'm trying to remember what the prosecutor said, but that it just seems like I don't care. Oh, I care. I care more than probably the person that did wrong to me. Reason being, I have this dark sense of humor, and most of you will understand this, but those who don't understand this is a coping mechanism. It's not trying to be disrespectful to others, which I'll never be disrespectful to a specific person, organization, or whatever this is. I just say it in general because we as humans can be stupid sometimes, and I just like to point that out. And I make fun of myself sometimes too, because I do dumb stuff. But again, it comes back to that little devil. Sometimes it's appropriate, sometimes it's not. Um, as a person, not just myself, but anybody else, we cannot control people's emotions and stuff like that. So if they get offended, that's on them. But if they communicate back, saying, I understand this is how you are, but in the time being, if you wouldn't mind being this way with me, just when you're around me, I would appreciate. When you get that type of reciprocation to your actions, be more mindful and be like, okay, I'll be a little bit more generous to those type of people. So that's your little angel telling you, be cautious of others, because I mean, there might be something that might offend me. And it's like, well, that's my fault, right? So that's when, actually, I want to talk about something like that with our generation today. What makes us more offended at things? People are offended by racists. I've been finding things more about sexual identity is really exploding right now. I'm all for anybody who wants to be whoever they are. If that's what makes you happy, fine. But what bothers me, and this is why my little devil comes out lately, is people feel like they are entitled to something. I don't know what that is, just because they want to change their ways, whether it's sexual identity. You're racist because you said something that offended you that had nothing to do with race. And it's just like, people need to be more educated on how to expect people to address them instead of being mad, because if you want us to change for you, you also need to be understanding of where we're coming from too. So those are those little things I'm not going to get into, because that's going to be a whole can of worms, but those are the things I've been noticing lately. Going back to if somebody's triggered, it's not our responsibility, or vice versa. I understand that, but that's what I was saying. Let that person know in advance, saying, hey, these are the things that really set me off. I mean, I'm not trying to say tiptoe around me, but just be very mindful, because I'm in a healing process. So choosing your words too, instead of saying, screw you, dude, you're offending me because you shouldn't be like this. You can't tell somebody not to be a certain way, but yet you can't be that type of person yourself. So we all have to come together and just realize that the world's going to change, but the people that are changing themselves in like a dramatic manner, you got to know that people like us and others that are just not wanting to change the same way you are, you got to be accepting of us too, and not be offended because we don't accept all the crazy things you're doing. I think I'm going off topic because I was supposed to talk about the little angel and devil. All right, let's go over this. If you're having that battle of like, should I do good? Should I do bad? Because it's so easy to do bad. It's easy to do bad things or just think poorly and just have those racing thoughts, as opposed to it makes a bigger effort to do good because you're in such a bad habit. So how do we listen to our angel a little bit more? It's kind of like having a parent. I'm not gonna lie, my angel is like um I want to be a better human being every single day. And I'm really trying to listen to the good part of my thoughts always. And the past couple days, it hasn't been so much like that. My devil's really put me in the dumps, but I let him. Having these racing thoughts that I was worthless for having a relationship with somebody. I'm talking about romantic. Well, even no, not just romantic, but even a friendship. I'm not saying I don't have friends, but when I say close, I'm talking about like in person, like where I can talk to somebody, just hang out and do things. I do not have that. I have not had that for 11 plus years, maybe. It's been a while since I got to really hang out with a group of friends. And I was really more back in the military. That's been really hard for me. What also makes it hard is a lot of civilians that don't understand PTSD. I don't want to keep saying military personnel with PTSD, but anybody with PTSD, it has been so much harder to build myself up, even though I know I'm worth it. But when you have so many people telling you this is what's wrong, I don't know what to do for you, you need to go help. It's so much harder to listen to your good side versus your bad side. Um, because I used to feel that way when I was younger. We were very, as children or teenagers, we're very prone to being accepted. I'm not as much like that anymore because I know I'm like, you know what? If you can accept me for who I am, then goodbye. But that's harder because now I'm looking at my circle. It's so small, which is okay. But teaching yourself how to be your own friend, how to rely everything on yourself is a lot. And it's very draining on me. I just had a talk with my probation officer and I'm telling him like I'm juggling. I have ideas, but I don't know what the right thing is to do. Meaning like where I should move, how to get my community service done, like how to take care of yourself. So every time you're feeling down about yourself because your little devil's like, well, you know what? Shame on you. You know what? Everybody feels shame for something we do, and yet we all still do it. So why are we still feeling the shame when it's kind of like known that it's going to happen, whatever it is we plan on doing, whether it's like speaking bad about somebody or we just catch ourselves in a negative thought, or it may not sound like a negative conversation, but some of the words you use might come off more in a detriment. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. A more emotional or mental conflict because I try to, I'll make fun of something. I don't want to pick on like people per se, but somebody picking on somebody's weight, maybe for instance. What makes that okay for you or anybody to talk bad about somebody like that, right? So you have to look within yourself. You're like, well, if this person's struggling here, what am I struggling on? And that helps me set not boundaries for others, but boundaries for myself. I constantly am self checking myself as I talk. You can hear I try to correct myself when I curse a lot. Not that cursing is per se bad, but how you use it in your conversation or how much you're saying it can be one of those negative things that sets you back from recovery because subconsciously you're setting yourself up for a more poisonous mindset, and then you don't realize it until later, like it happened with me. I'll go over that in a second. Then you start finding yourself acting on those things. So back in 2018, like I've told you a lot, I worked so hard on my, like, I literally just went cold turkey. Like, whew, I'm surprised I went that cold on my mental health. Like, I was from a person who was just, not me, but people were manipulating me, abusive, verbally abusive, taking advantage of me. I was just always that girl that wanted to do for somebody because I wanted them to love me so bad, or trying to find the approval of a friend. And I have some friends I used to work with at 24-hour fitness. I used to do this to them because I was so desperate for somebody's acceptance, because I didn't have any military friends and I just wanted them to see me as somebody good and not this crazy Marine that is just constantly angry and bitter and always talking bad about herself. And that's what I was doing, right? But it's hard to see those things when you're so deprived of other things. So there's something called the Maslow. Let me see if I say this. Maslow's. I'm going to put this in the description if I say this wrong. Hierarchy. So this is something I learned in psychology class, and you'll hear it a lot. So it's like a pyramid of our most important things that we need in order to survive as a person, right? So like security, companionship, the basics like food and water. I don't forgot what category, but I will bring that up. But the biggest thing I was like deprived of, which really messes with your mental health, is having like companionship, family, friends, romantic, anything. I was literally not getting, and I'm still not getting it as much now. I mean, I got friends that will call me up and say, I miss you, I love you. I'm like, okay, that's great. I miss you too, which I do. But it's like, I need someone now. I need this hug. I need someone to like touch and love me. And that is totally normal. If anybody says that's weakness, they're full of fucking shit. I'm sorry. I've even seen a man who's at his lowest dying for affection and who misinterpreted trying to have sex with somebody as having affection. That is not the case. When I mean affection, is somebody who reciprocates the love I give back, okay? So not somebody just taking you for your money, or only there when it's convenient for them. They need to be there for you fully, okay? The friends, family, whoever. I was not getting any of that, and I was putting so much energy into something like that, okay? So that would be like, hey, that's your angel telling you to do all this. Yeah, but now it becomes toxic. Wow, right? You're like, something so good became something so toxic. But when should it become good? That right there in my moment is when my angel was not the good person, but my devil was. Why? My devil's like, F this. I'm sick and tired of you being so sad in the dumps, feeling sorry for yourself. That is one big thing. There's one thing to actually know that you're going through something, or just constantly saying, I feel sorry for yourself. Oh, how nothing's going my way, but you're not taking action. There's a difference, okay? So know the difference. If you are actually taking action and trying your hardest at every avenue to make a change in your life, and you know it's not happening, that's when you need to figure out, okay, where's my angel? What do I need to do to fix this problem? Whereas mine was, the angel kept telling me to keep giving and giving and giving. And I was like so drained emotionally. And like, I don't even, it literally felt like a drain of blood rushing through my body of like, I'm just tired. And I remember this one day, I was like, I'm fed up. I'm tired of this. So I went and sought counseling outside the VA. And I've told you guys probably in previous videos, but that's what I had to do. I had to listen to my devil finally, because my angel wasn't working anymore. My devil's like, F everybody, just cut everybody off. I did this a little too raw in cold turkey. I literally did. I cut my entire family off. I cut people that called me their friends. I cut off every single bad relationship I had, down to even a coach in bodybuilding I had. She was not healthy for me. It may seem like it because I was so naive, because I was so poisoned by thinking I had to please people. She was not healthy. I ended up getting a healthier coach who strived to give me more positive more positive feedback. I'm not saying I wasn't getting from the other coach, but she felt like she needed my money more than she needed to help me, and I didn't like that. So this new coach, well, the newest coach I did eventually get, she's not with me anymore. She doesn't coach bodybuilders. She shared the most deepest story ever, and that made me love her more because she was raw and not trying to be this inspiring person, being like a celebrity. Because her name is Sarah Hurl. I'm just going to give you her name. I grew up fast because of her, meaning because she had, I'm not going to go into it because that's her story, and I don't want to tell something that's may not be okay with her, but she had alcohol issues. Fine, we'll leave it at that. She's recovering. She recovered from that. I'm sorry, she's already recovered. And she's talking about being sober all these years and how she used to be. That made me feel better. It made me feel safer because I knew somebody I looked so highly up to who was a third place, um, I guess, contestant in the Olympia. This is supposed to be a superstar, right? In my eyes and to everybody else, who's just human like us. So that made me feel better. Now that I can strive more to be that superhero for others, or maybe for her, who knows? I don't know, just hypothetically speaking. I want to give back in my own way. I have my own story to tell. So that's why I'm always saying, when you have your devil and your angel speaking to you, know what's appropriate and which one to really listen to. Because they're both not bad, but they're both not always good. You just got to pick and choose what information is going to best suit you without creating more issues in the long run. Okay. Um, that's my rant on having an angel and devil on your shoulder. But if you are confused and you feel like you're having this push and tug and pull, write out pros and cons of what your situation is. Write out ideas of what you can do to overcome these situations. You'll start to see more logically than more emotionally. Okay. I really need to, I think my next video should be more about CPT because this is how we get deeper down into our brain and what our thoughts are and what they might mean, or trying to understand why you act the way you are, whatever it is. It's pretty fascinating to me, but very hard to take in because you're like, wow, I'm not, it might look like you're a bad person. You're really, nobody's like bad. We just don't understand how to control our certain thoughts, how to be more evolved, and how to learn from ourselves and others. We're so manipulated, I should say, and so coursed through. I'm watching commercials here. Holy cow. It's no wonder why people are so manipulated by our society. Excuse me. Through social media, through the television, news. Like, I've learned a lot just from that alone in the past 2 months of living in a motel. I never watch TV unless it's like Netflix and stuff. Like, I don't have these commercials. I'm looking for stuff that's going to better me, or I love educational videos. But what I'm trying to say is, do not let those things. Always do your research. Know what you're watching is true. If you find yourself feeling more angry inside your head, you're like, yeah, screw this and that. And I've been finding myself like that. And last month when I was living with my friend, that was not healthy for my healing of my mental health. So really listen to yourself. If yourself is saying this is not good for you, it's probably true. Okay. Find better things. I'm always posting stuff on Facebook as well, Instagram. Like making better choices. Like if you're a person who does alcohol, switch it with water. If you're finding yourself binging on Netflix, switch it with a book. Read versus watch. Because watching TV, you might take a little bit in. You don't get the full effect of what to truly understand. Whereas if you read, your brain processes it in a different way. Things like that. So everything you think you're doing bad, switch it with something good. Set goals for yourself, okay? This will help you in the long run. All right, guys. Well, I hope this helps you. Please subscribe. Let me know if you have any if, whats, or buts. And have a nice day, okay? Take care.